Rose is your name, but when you poop it sure don't smell like roses. Your number 2 burns the hair in my nose, but we fought hand in paw. Now your poop don't stink at all. Now that the air is clear, I'll treasure your front and rear, my sweet Rose.
Instantly neutralize poop stink with Poop Fighter from World's Best Cat Litter for the world's best cat.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Hej, hej, z tej strony Agnieszka. Wskakuję do Ciebie z małym bonusem. Kiedy już nagrałam podsumowanie 2022 roku, natchnęło mnie, że odcinek był bardzo, bardzo długi. Wyczerpujący i treściwy, ale jednak długi. Planowałam na samym początku domontować do niego fragment wywiadu z moją mentorką Sigrun. Dlaczego? Ponieważ wierzę, że zadziała na Ciebie bardzo motywująco podczas wkraczania, planowania 2023. Ale jako, że poprzedni odcinek był już tak długi, stwierdziłam, że zrobię z tego dodatkowego materiału po prostu kolejny odcinek. Dlatego za chwileczkę wysłuchasz rozmowy z Sigrun. Jest ode mnie taki prezent, bonus. Mam nadzieję, że skłoni Cię do refleksji. Dla mnie jest takim symbolem pełnego koła, którego zatoczyłam kilkoma latami tego biznesu, kiedy sama uczyłam się pod skrzydłami Sigrun biznesu online, a teraz to ja uczę, przekazuję tą pałeczkę dalej kolejnym i kolejnym osobom. Dlaczego ten wywiad? Dlatego, że tak jak co roku w okresie okołoświątecznym między 25 grudnia a 5 stycznia Sigrun udostępnia 12 swoich najlepszych masterclassów, które wyciąga z płatnych programów i udostępnia totalnie za free jako prezent dla przedsiębiorców na całym świecie, po to, aby podzielić się swoją wiedzą. Ja w tym roku postanowiłam dołączyć do tej tradycji. Zresztą tak jak co roku, bo udostępniam Ci tu jej masterclassy. Tym razem jednak też bardziej aktywnie. Nagrałam 13 masterclass, w którym podzieliłam się swoimi wskazówkami, jak wdrażałam wiedzę Sigrun w życie i jak możesz obserwować efekty tworzenia firmy praktycznie od zera do 7-cyfrowego, świetnie hulającego biznesu w branży handmade. Zapraszam Cię do tego wywiadu. Krótki, motywujący, bardzo rozrywkowy, ale mam nadzieję, że jak najbardziej inspirujący, pokazujący, że w tej branży biznesu handmade próg wejścia obniża się z roku na rok. I tak naprawdę dobry moment, żeby tu wskoczyć, już dawno był. Teraz jest drugi najlepszy. Zostawiam Cię z tym wywiadem. Będzie po angielsku. Mam nadzieję, że się nie przestraszysz. Prosta angielszczyzna, bez wygibasów językowych. Mam nadzieję, że zadziała na Ciebie inspirująco. Zostawiam Cię z tym bonusem. Wszystkiego dobrego na nowy rok. Okay, we're live. Thank you, Sigrun, for joining this interview. I'm always glad to talk to you about your ideas. And today I remember the feeling of becoming an author, and I really want to talk to you about the book. Like I have it in the back, Kickstart.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally love it. And I remember the feeling of becoming an author, you know, this ego tingling feeling of writing a book, but also this incredible feeling when people write emails and thank you for the content you provide to them, right? That's why I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your book. I'm talking about it everywhere I can, but still I feel that not enough women know about the book. So could you tell us about the Kickstart process described in the book and the idea behind the book and how it all started?
Sure. So I've for a long time wanted to write a book. I think a lot of people carry in their mind or in their stomach a book. And the very first time I thought about writing a book. I was 6 years old. I had written a short story in school, and we were supposed to send it in to the radio station. We only had one radio station back then, and the national radio station, and they read my story. And it was about a cat. And I'm a dog person. I'm not a cat person. I have no idea what I wrote about a cat. Maybe I wrote about the cat that came into the car of my father and peed in the back seat. I don't know. But I got the idea. One day I'll be an author. And I never completely got rid of that dream. That dream appeared again when I started my business. I felt, yes, now I have something to write about and some reason to write, because I think a book is a very good way to talk about your business, to talk about your programs, and use it as a both introduction, but also some sort of a lead magnet. You can also even give the digital version away on your website. There are many ways to use it as a tool to tell people about your business and bring them into your programs. And Kickstart is a course that I came up with 5 years ago. In 2018, I had already been running an online business. That was my 5th year. And I had hundreds of women in my online programs. And still, I wasn't really happy about progress.
They were not taking action. Yeah.
There were a lot of successful women. And if I had just I just look at these successful women, then I could have chosen not to do anything about my programs or change anything, offer anything new. Because, many online entrepreneurs are just happy if 10, 15% are successful and the rest toggles along and doesn't do much. But I wasn't happy with that, although I know it's the industry average that in an online program, only really 10% complete the program and are truly successful. So I got increasingly frustrated with my students, but mostly I realized the only person who can change this is me. I need to change the way I teach. I need to bring in more accountability. I need to give people less information. People think they need a lot of content.
Yeah.
But a lot of content overwhelms you. You don't know where to begin. You don't know what to focus on. You are unclear on your priorities. And I realized, no, I have to do the opposite of what people think. I have to give them less content and only the relevant content that they need right now. And then I need to keep them accountable. I need to, stay with them and make sure they have every support they need to actually finish this thing that I tell them to do. And we need to check that they're actually doing it. And, I really didn't know what I was getting into. I just realized I had to change things. And before I even had thought it through, I announced Samba Summer School. That was the name that I came up with. Summer was coming. I was very worried that women would just take time off, school holidays, be home with kids, do something. And for 3 months, they wouldn't do anything. And we would be back in the same spot in September, or even worse off, really, because they have proven it with reading tests. There's been research on this in the United States that kids that don't read through the summer during holidays, they are worse off when they come back to school. So I was like, this reading test, that's the same with online business. Women, unfortunately, tend to take time off unless I come up with a program that runs through the summer and they keep on building their business. And I was like, okay, it needs to be something tangible. It needs to be something that, almost like that you can touch. And so the best thing that I came up with is create an online course. And so Samba Summer School is coming. Samba Summer School is coming. Nobody knew what it was, but people got excited. I got excited. I knew I had to do these things differently, a little bit like a challenge. We're gonna work, in a like a sprint, and we're gonna have very clear tasks every week. And I was like, hey, come up with an online course topic, and it has to be free. It has to be 4 weeks, because then we can do it together. Then I can help you promote it. Then we get it finished in the summer. And so gradually the idea of what this is came to me. I hadn't thought it all through. It always sounds like a masterpiece afterwards, but most good ideas are just organic. And this is entrepreneurship. You decide to do something,
right?
Yeah.
The idea how you want to help your clients, and the rest just unfolded, right?
It just unfolded. I was like, okay, it should be a course. I'm like, okay, 4 weeks, because I was like, okay, we need to prepare it and then run it, and then we need to finish this summer. I was like, okay, it cannot be longer than 4 weeks. That's also the minimum length of an online course, in my opinion. And free. The biggest obstacle in online business is that most email lists, or just, people have a very small email list.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no one to sell to. And they have a small following on social media. So there's no one to buy there either. And so I realized, like, this is the ultimate freebie. The ultimate freebie is a free 4-week online course. It's better than a checklist or an ebook or anything like else that you see out there, or workshop or a 5-day challenge. 4-week course that you honestly run like a proper course. And it's so good that people are thinking, oh, I should have paid for this. If that's the feeling you can generate, then you hit the jackpot, because people like to reciprocate. The word that I can never say. Yeah. So they feel like they owe you something, in a good way, not in a bad way. Yeah. And so when you come with an offer after the 4-week course,
you just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
They want to buy from you. Not everyone will buy. We know that there's only a certain percentage that buys, but it's going to be enough for you to realize, like, hey, this online thing works for me. I can sell to people. And that's what Kickstart came. The first round of Kickstart, we had 124 online courses created, courses that would otherwise never have been created in the first place. Mm-hmm. And I realized I was onto something.
Yeah, I love the story, how it all began. I remember, because I was in your community before all the Samba Summer School and Kickstart happened. And I couldn't be more amazed that, people invest so much money into a program that they never implement. For me, that was something like crazy thing. And when the summer school, which is now named Kickstart, came, there was this sudden rush. Like, I found out there are so many women that were always there, sitting there, but just kind of hiding, and you brought them to light. As you said, those courses would never appear. Those people who use the service, the transformation that the courses gave them, they would have never experienced that. Like, what if? And to me, this idea that you had, like, it just proves that it was coming from your heart. That was like this true intention to actually help your clients. It's not only about, let's sell a program and then worry about next clients. it was this true intention of helping your clients. And now we see the ripple effect. To me, Kickstart was ahead of times. Now we see that we no longer download freebies, PDFs, and we're like sick and tired of all that, thing that we never open, never digest, never implement. Whereas online course gives us transformation. As you said, it brings us to action rather than taking in more knowledge. We don't need more knowledge. Like everybody is now sick and tired of that. But I remember the Kickstart and its power was this power of doing things together. I'm a living testimonial because I've built my whole portfolio of products, like online courses, serving the Oplotki community, like how to price your services, how to do the macrame course created in another Kickstarter. I did like 4 or 5 of them, and I could attest that the process works. But I'm really curious because when I was reading the book, I remember the most, valuable part for me, as I know the process itself, was reading those stories. Like I see these women actually serving their clients through those courses, but also changing their businesses via this process. Maybe you have like your favorite, success stories. There are so many in the book. That's why I recommend the book so much. It's like reading biography after biography, But maybe
I know, and I had so many more success stories, so I had to be really picky. And we have collected, because of the accountability process, we actually have information about the success. Yeah. That was so important for me. Before, I didn't know if people were using the material or creating courses or having a successful online business unless they told me and celebrated in the Facebook group. Yeah. And now through the Kickstart process, we know if it's working, and we have always tweaked it. But the original idea is unchanged. It's just, like more support, more coaches to help, more coaching calls or co-working sessions. But I am also glad that I wrote the book now and not many years ago, because now I have 5 years of Kickstart. We have now, thousands of women, mostly women, a few good men too, gone through the program. And now we see what's possible. What has kickstarted? What did it do for these online businesses? And if you look back a few years later, you see the progress. So I love, for instance, Dr. Claudia Nichtel, a nutritionist from Vienna, Austria. She had a 6-figure business before she joined Zomba Kickstart. She was working offline. She was charging fairly low fee. She had a PhD in nutrition. Yeah. She had written, I think, 20 books, mostly recipe books. But still, she was undercharging. She was undervaluing her expertise. Yeah. And she was serving individuals that will never pay so much money at the end of the day. And she didn't see her own brilliance. And she was earning 100,000, but her costs were 90,000. So actually, she wasn't paying herself a salary, no profit. And then she came into Zomba Kickstart 2018, the very first round, and she finally created her first 4-week course. It was.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
A power breakfast or something like that. And a course that she had in her mind and was kind of ready to go that was her upsell. That's the course that she could actually sell people. And she sold 80 spots.
Yeah.
And suddenly she had an online business. And it didn't stop there. She was hooked. She was like, hey, this is a better way to make money. I can serve more people at the same time instead of individuals. I have a lot of people. And so in 2019, 20, she was figuring out how to kind of scale this up and who to serve. Until we came up with the idea that she would actually create an academy, certification program, and focus on health professionals instead of individuals. And that's how she was able to create a 7-figure business.
Yeah, and that's created her impact. I remember meeting Claudia, like, meeting offline. That sounds so crazy in online business, meeting those women during one of your mastermind retreats, this affiliate retreat. And to be honest, I remember her saying about the Kickstart courses as treating that course as an asset in a business. And you oftentimes emphasize the fact that it's not only creating the course, it's an asset which can be scalable within your business that frees you from time and gives you this leverage for creating money without attaching it to time. To me as a mom, that's the thing I need to hear, right? Can I free my time and still have the money? But I wanted to talk to you about the tool that you talk about, the money as a tool, because after all, I understood only when I became affluent, I became independent of, time attached to money. I started generating income, hiring people without being attached to, sitting in front of computer all the time. I realized that the true impact comes with money, with this freedom, with thinking about your mission and how you want to make an impact. And I remember Claudia saying, like, now when she serves professionals, that makes her do the impact in individuals' life way bigger. She can touch with her knowledge much more people because she serves professionals who serve other people. And that's something that makes me have this tingling feeling in the back, like that we really change this world for a better place. And I really want to talk to you about this fact that money is a tool for making an impact. And you're giving us an asset, a tool to create money in order to create the impact in the world. Because after all of us, I feel all the women I meet in business, they truly want to make this world a better place. And you just give them a perfect tool.
But it's also important to make sure that you have a profitable business before you think about making an impact. And I was fortunate enough to meet with Richard Branson this fall on his private island, Necker Island. And we were talking about this thing that so many women want to make impact. But the thing is, if you think first impact and second business and profit, you never have a profitable, successful business. So you have to reverse it. He absolutely believes, and I agree with him, first create the business. So it's almost like put the oxygen mask first on yourself, like they say on your plane, and then on your child. The same thing with business. Create a business that serves your basic needs and is profitable. Scale it up so then you can use the power of impact. If the impact is the first thing you think about, the issue could be that you charge too low prices. That you're always in the scarcity mindset of I want to serve these people, but they can't pay what I want to charge. Versus business, profits, let's be serious about this. And because with a 6-figure business and multiple 6-figure business and maybe even a 7-figure business, you can have way more impact. People are going to invite you on more podcasts. You're going to be speak at conferences. People are rather going to buy your book. We have bigger impact. Money gives us impact. I know sometimes money sounds like a bad word, but the thing is, money is like this. You can just look at it as energy. Instead of thinking about this paper thing, think of it as energy. The more energy you have, more energy radiates out from you and more energy you give and can give to others. In the beginning, you need all the energy for yourself. And once you have enough for yourself, you can give more to others.
Yeah, that's so true. And I see, like, I knew it when you told us that, when the teaching is so clear, but I kind of feel I got it once I've been there. Like, you have to feel it to actually know what it means. Maybe that sounds really unpleasant, right? But I feel I did not get it until I got it. Until I was at that place where, there was this TEDx stage and the book and the income and like hitting the 6-figure and then hitting the 7-figure and then hiring people and feeling the responsibility of creating workplace. Like, what does it mean to have a sustainable business, not just like a 1-year fluke or something? Then was only the basis to be able to think about, okay, what a legacy do I want to leave in this world? How do I want to be perceived in 10 years, 20 years? Where do we get from here? Like, once you tick off all those boxes, your dreams, the book, the things, you actually start thinking like, how can I make an impact? How can I change people's life? How can I make it even more effective? And that brings me back to Kickstart, because it all told me, like, this whole journey did show me your gift that I experienced, but now I kind of get it. You've got this amazing gift to put the right women in right room, like to put women together, and the magic of collaboration and helping each other out and supporting each other when we feel down or low, with all the tools. Like, on one side, what we do is our job and we get money for that, but we also help other women in what we know. And this magical exchange makes Kickstart, magical, because we do this process together. That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I know that you did discover that through the first round, magic of doing things together. If you can talk about that, because I see that, I experience that. Even when I help a Zumba mentor, I see what is the magic of doing the process together. But I guess you designed that. What was this idea? Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of elements that kind of came together, and I think some of them were conscious and others were subconscious, and maybe others were just like, wow, I've created this and I didn't realize how powerful this is. I knew the power of sprints. I knew the power of having a very clear goal for the week and finishing something before we start with step 2. And I knew the power of just like, do this, 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 and you're not going to think about what's happening afterwards, even though it annoys people to hell, especially women, like, oh, I need to know what's happening next week. I'm like, no, you don't, because it messes up with your brain and just creates overthinking and overwhelm. Yeah. So I knew about the power of sprints. It is actually common in software development. So in addition to architecture, I studied computer science, and I was running software companies in the past. And when I was studying computer science, we learned about different methods to develop software. And the traditional method, called the waterfall method, is the very old traditional method of developing software. You create a requirements document, a massive document. These are the things that I want in my software, or these are the things I want on my website, or these are the things that I want in my house, whatever you're developing. And you create this document, and you have to imagine all the things that you want, not leave anything out. And it has to be this cohesive thing, like it has to make sense. And then, so you make this document, and then you're like, okay, here is what I want. Here's my requirements document. And then people then go ahead, programmers, create the software. And then you come back to the company that ordered the software, and they're like, oh, that's not what I want. You need to change this and change that and change that. And they made us do an experiment during my studies. So we were a group of 4, and we did the waterfall method. And then there were other methods that were in discussion, whether they're better or not. So we had a little bit of a competition. But it turns out the waterfall method is horrible. It's really horrible, because people don't know what they want until they see it, until they get it, until they can touch it or visually see the website. And the method that was coming into the world around that time, I was doing the computer studies on the side. I was already running a company, was called Scrum.
Oh, yeah.
Scrum is a sprint. You have requirements, minimal requirements. We call it a minimal viable product.
Yeah.
You create a very small product. So let's say you're creating software. This is a big software we're creating, but can we create just a little piece of it, just a little angle of it? And then you look at it, you're happy, we move on to the next thing. So it's an iteration process.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how we should create online courses. We should sprint. So both the method of me creating Kickstart was Scrum method, but also the 4-week course that I have people create is a Scrum method.
Yeah.
It's basically we create and we get feedback. We create, we get feedback, we create, we get feedback. And that's how we create courses that people love and we can sell in the future. So I knew the sprint would work. I knew the Scrum was the right approach because waterfall doesn't work. And I knew people needed accountability. It was super frustrating to see so many people sign up for my programs and not do the work. I wanted to turn it on its head. Instead of a 10% completion rate, I wanted a 90% completion rate. And yes, we achieved it. And then the power of community was like this added bonus. I remember when I was in the Facebook group, because in the first round, I did it all on my own. Now I have a lot of help. I was like, there's 2 hours left to sign up. So Sampa Summer School, or the first round of Kickstart, was free for my clients. I was not trying to make more money. I was trying to make more people do the work. And but I was encouraging them to participate. They had to sign up. They had to tell me that they're part of the program. So first I was like, 2 hours left. We already have 100 people in. Are you coming too? And they were like, oh, are you in? Then I'm going to do it too. So I had to do this numerous times. First of all, to get them to sign up for the process. And they had no idea what this process was, but I made them sign up. The second thing was the course. They had to submit their course. I said, you have to submit your course because then I'll help you promote it. And then people were like, yeah, I didn't get a course idea. I don't know, even though they signed up, they were like, I don't know what my course is about. And then I was like, again, 2 hours left. You can find a course idea in 5 minutes. It can take you 5 years, 5 months, 5 weeks, or just 5 minutes. And they're, I can hop on a Zoom call with you, somebody said. So the power of positive group pressure is what I was using very consciously to get people, like, it's so hard. You can't really compare this doing on your own. And we have people coming back to Kickstart. I remember in one of our launches, someone said, is there something wrong with the program? Why do people have to do it again? I was like, no, it's the opposite. The program is so amazing that we have long-term clients come back. Yeah, and they Kickstart for the second, third, or even fourth time. I think we have even one that's done it 5 times.
Yeah, I'm an example. I'm even mentoring in those Kickstart rounds, but still, when I am able to create a course, when I have the course idea, I do it with Kickstart. Yeah. There's this magic of a group pushing you even harder. Like, even though I know the Kickstart process, like in the middle of the night, you can wake me up and I know what's happening in each week. I still want to do it with people. Like, it's more fun. The promo is more fun because we help each other. There is so many places where the power of group fuels you up with this energy. But, I think there's also one gift that you have, like, is shown up in Kickstart because I remember admiring you for your skills. I remember you mentioned you've been this turnaround CEO, and like, you activate your powerful skills while something bad is happening. Like, in crisis time, you're this strong leader that takes quick decisions and is able to push us to make quick decisions. And after all, in a crisis time, it's not about the right decision, it's about quick decisions. And I'm constantly inspired because, in Kickstart, we see that, our little crisis, like, idea can be compared to bigger crises like COVID. When COVID hit, I remember so many of my online business friends or stationary business friends closing up, shrinking, like degrading their businesses because they froze. They had no power to take a decision. And I remember how my business exploded. And I can attest to your leadership. not the, giving me the perfect answer on a silver platter, but this idea of, okay, you have to act quick. You have to analyze what you've got, what could stay in such a way as it is, but where you have to cut, where you have to change, where you have to pivot. And I remember thinking this idea and leading my organization this way, and now I have the results, right? It's huge. It's like a 7-figure business. So I cannot thank you more for that. But I wanted to circle back to, this idea of your skill of thinking about what should we leave, like what is a great tradition and is worth keeping, but still what is worth changing or pivoting, especially that we witness those crazy, shaky time. Everything's changing and shifting now. But I see you're going to be organizing this 12 days of masterclasses. That's like perfect example. That's this huge tradition. And I know that you're going to be a bit changing that, but if you could talk about it, that's like an amazing gift for the community, but also for people from the outside of the community. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is everyone thinks we are in a recession.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of things going on right now. We have war going on. We have inflation. Times are different, and it just definitely feels like a recession. But the thing is, we are not in a recession, and that's important to point out. Now, whenever people watch this video, we might be in a recession, but at the time of the recording of this video, we're not. So for those who are not into economy stuff, a recession, definition of recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. We have not had that yet, and I'll tell you why. It is because employment is really, really high. So even if prices have gone up in certain sectors, at least, and it's flooding over to other sectors, people are looking for people to work for them. We still see restaurants and travel industries and many other industries struggling to find enough people. And so it's because of that. It's kind of like the economy is growing and it's still like, and what is likely to happen, according to economists, I'm not an economist, but I read the news carefully to be able to see what's happening so I can take action and I can inform my clients and my community. We're probably going to have a soft landing. Soft landing means there is probably not like this growth that we have had, but that's normal. The economy, I've been reading very interesting books about like what happens, over time. And even we have these small waves, like every 8 years. There's, the financial crisis that we have, 2008. And then we had COVID crisis and we're kind of still, many of the things happening right now is because of COVID. And then we had the war add to it. So it's kind of these factors, but this is normal. This is very normal. And you need to be able to lead your team, your clients, community, run your business through these phases. And then there's bigger waves. And we are looking at what it looks like now. As I said, I don't know what happens tomorrow, but it looks like it's going to be a soft landing. And I think it's important to not read the scary news, the magazines and newspaper with big, bold letters. You probably know what I'm talking about. Don't buy into the fear. As an entrepreneur, crisis is an opportunity. Exactly. This is actually where you should get energy and say, things are not working, or this ideal client over there isn't wanting to buy right now. Let me shift over to this ideal client, or my offers are not landing right. Let me tweak my offers a bit. Maybe offer longer payment plans, whatever it is that you needed, because we should take responsibility and not stop the economy. The thing is, if we all stop, we're actually fueling the fear and we are creating the recession. So we can, and this is important, and this hopefully the governments are doing the right thing, keep the wheels of the economy running, and we all play a role there. And it's important to keep on going. Now, of course, you have to be smart. If you are losing money or heading into debt or anything like that, take a smart decision, cut your costs. But the thing is, if we just look at cost cutting, we never grow.
Yeah.
And I loved reading the book from Richard Branson. Of course, meeting him in person was awesome, but reading the book from Richard Branson, he was so often in like, it looks like his businesses were going under, and he always had smart ideas how to actually navigate this field. So it's about being creative. For instance, is this the best time to hire someone for your business and you're like not sure how next year is going to look like? I just did that. I think I am preparing for growth. The question is, what are you preparing for? Are you going to buy into the fear and cut down and, like, oh, let's not do anything? Or you're like, hey, preparing for growth. Crisis and recession is the best time to invest in yourself and your personal development. This is a time where people go to universities and learn the skills that they wanted to learn before. Look at this time as your opportunity, because if you are one of those few that actually says, hey, I'm going to prepare for growth, you're going to stand out, because some other people who are not watching this, they're like, oh, I'm going to cut costs and I'm going to do the opposite. So it's almost like doing the opposite of what we think we should be doing sometimes is the best thing to do in a crisis. And first of all, speak up and be a lighthouse. Point out the opportunities for your communities. Don't be in the doom and the gloom. I see the doom and the gloom in the news. I don't need to repeat that. There's no reason. I rather say, hey, we are not in a recession, so let's stay out of it. Hopefully we stay out of it. And what do? We serve the people who are willing to work with us now. We adjust our offers if we need to be. But I can give you positive news. I have people launching right now in my in my Red Circle programs and in other programs. People are paying up front. People are buying. They're having amazing 6-figure launches. So I think entrepreneurs are just wired differently. We actually do not buy into the hype that the bad media wants to sell us.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm a living example as well. Like I see my business is thriving. Maybe that's also the time when we are bombarded with those negative news. We just turn off the TV and we go to chill out with some crafting, right? I'm a living example of that. Like when I have a tough business decision to make, I just turn off the computer and just do some knitting, right? And like I've got this clarity suddenly. But I wanted to circle back to your gifts, because I see like, recession is the time when we like armor up, like everything is like hoarding strategy. That's like something that comes intuitively when we feel fear, right? But what I see in our community and like in community of entrepreneurs where I'm at, it's like it's the opposite. It's like giving. What can we give? How can we serve?
That's exactly it. Right? Yeah. So you have seen it, and maybe not everyone who watches this video or listens to a podcast will know, but in times of crisis, typically I have done the opposite, and I hopefully inspire others to do the same. When everyone is feeling a little bit like, I give out gifts. I would host a summit. I would create extra resources. And so it fits perfectly in the time now to offer my 12 days of masterclasses. That is my gift. So I don't need to create another gift. It's just the timing is perfect. But 12 days of masterclasses, I've been looking really into having topics. I always have new masterclasses every year. And I look at the topics to be relevant for what's happening also in the economy, but also just like basics in online business. And it's for people starting from scratch, zero. It's also for those who've been longer in business. So we pick topics that fit everything. And it's 12 masterclasses. So there might be 4 or 5 perfect for you. And for someone else, there might be some 3 or 4. But overall, it's about bringing online entrepreneurs together over Christmas. It's run from December 25th to January 5th. And there is really something for everyone. We talk about list building. We talk about mindset. We talk about sales, marketing, kind of, a little bit of everything. And each masterclass is an hour. It's pure content. It's really, a summary. It's like a course in an hour. Instead of you spending hours and hours learning the same thing, it's kind of the summary of it. And I love doing this. This is the 8th year. I can't believe it. It's like, wow, I've been so long in business. I didn't do it the very first year in business. I came up with this idea in my second year of business. So, but this is the 8th year. So, and this is probably one of my favorite things to do. I like to put up a Christmas hat and create little videos around it. So I make fun, this becomes a fun thing to do. And we stream the masterclasses live in a Facebook group as well. People can binge watch them all in one go in one day if they want to. But if they want to watch live and ask me questions, then I'm there too. So yeah, it's a really fun time, and I look forward to it each time.
It is like, I really look forward to it as well, because, at the beginning I thought, okay, I'll watch the master classes. I know everything. I just implemented, like checked. But that's not true. Like each year I take part in those 12 master classes. On one hand, like I see how much I've grew, like how much the concepts that were so new and so crazy are now part of my business. And it's so easy, so automatic now. But on the other side, it makes you rethink your ideas. Sometimes going back to basics makes you like, why did I overcomplicate that so hard, right? It's so easy. And you inspired me to do also like a gift, because now I see myself as somebody that, came to your world like a couple of years ago, like a newbie. I did not know a thing about online business. And it's so crazy that now after a couple of years, that's my main source of income. That's a huge business, like the whole organization that gives people jobs, right? And now I can give the gift as you do. And you make me inspired. Like I'm going to be creating a master class as well, to also share my knowledge, share the experience, how I implemented your knowledge. I believe on our Polish market, our online business is still catching up with the rest of the like Germany or France. They are more developed. But I believe that Polish entrepreneurs are catching up really quickly. Many of us do the business also in English, so they kind of enter this international pool of clients. So I'm really looking forward to those masterclasses. For me, that's a tool to inspire ladies that are looking at this online thing, just like I did, like a bit of craziness out there, but maybe I'll try. So I hope there's going to be new people on board. I just have the last question. I didn't want to keep you longer to respect your time, Sigrun, but this last thing. I know that those 12 master classes, they come in December, but I really want to air this interview as quickly as I can. And I know that you have this workshop coming up in November. I take part in it every year because it's a workshop about planning the next year. And to me, it's always like this pretext to sum up the previous year before you even go into planning for the next one. Maybe you have like a couple of words for our community. What can be expected there? Because I know it's going to be paid workshops. Some of people, they are thinking like, is it worth it? But maybe you can tell a couple of words. What can we expect there? I'll be probably, inviting my friends over as well.
Yeah, the workshop that's coming up is a planning workshop, but this is the 9th year that I do this planning workshop. Now, it's always updated every year. So even if people have attended before, they can definitely come back and learn something new. But I come from the business world. I was 10 years a CEO, doing turnarounds, startups, mergers, fast growth of businesses, making sure they were profitable. And I fell in love with planning and budgeting. Then I came into the online business world 9 years ago, and I realized people don't plan. They don't want to plan. They think it's boring, or they don't think it's necessary. And they're more focused on like, how can I get more people on my email list, and how can I sell more? I'm like, well, before you do all of that, maybe do a bit of a planning. Who are you serving? What are you trying to sell? And what is expected revenue? Like how many leads do you need to make the revenue you want to make? By just spending a little bit of time on this, your business is going to be more successful. Now, even though I think planning is essential, I realized people are hesitant to plan. And so I was like, maybe there's a different approach to planning. So I came up with Your Best Year Yet workshop. And this was the very first one I did in November 2014. So We are now doing it for a 9th year. And it's truly based on my business background and business education and all my experience in online business as well. And I make it fun. You spend this time with me and you have a finished plan at the end. There's no homework. I am a huge opponent. I don't believe in homework. I think you should do the work. It's like being working for someone and you have to go home and do something more. No, you do it while you're there with me. And you will not feel like it's planning, because I realized, planning. Nobody wants to do that. No. I ask you a few questions. You answer my questions. And then you have a plan.
Exactly. This clarity is like precious. Like when I have people asking me, how did you do that? Like 3 kids and TEDx speech and the book and the business and blah, 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 all of that. I'm like, I plan for it. Like, and I do plan during your workshop. So I'm a living testimonial. Like if anyone has questions, I'm going to be probably leading you to join me as well. I'm going to be there.
Absolutely. The thing is, it's not just about the revenue you want to make, or how many people you want on your email list, or who is your ideal client, or what programs to sell and what price. We do all of that.
Yeah.
Plus, we also think about, do you want to write a book? Do you want to give a TEDx talk? What are your long-term goals and how can you start to integrate them? The best thing is to do this in a community, get inspired by each other's goals, create a vision for your business, and do this all in this guided session. And afterwards, you really have your plan. You have a plan that you can print out and hang up on the wall in your office or your bedroom or living room or wherever, something you see all the time. This is not the plan that necessarily has all the revenue numbers. It's more like, this is the business I want. This is my mission. This is my strategy. This is how I'm going to achieve it. And it's so simple and easy when you see it, but you don't sit down and do it yourself. And really, this is the basis for my multiple 7-figure business. And I have clients that, have created their $1 million businesses, like literally, I have all my clients go through this workshop. If someone joins, for instance, Momentum, my group coaching program, they have to do this workshop. They have to do it on their own, though. And you're going to do it together with me. And it's a very small price. Why do we charge for this workshop? The thing is, I want committed people there. I want people that show up for themselves, who are actually serious. And this is why I charge for it. The value, I could probably charge $500 or $1,000 for this workshop, but we decided the low fee of $47. It's a commitment fee.
Yeah,
more than anything. It's just to make sure, to tell your own brain, I'm paying this money because I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to plan my business. I'm going to make 2023 the greatest year yet. And that's the name for the workshop. Now we call it the greatest year yet.
Yeah, I cannot wait, Sigrun, and thank you for sharing the story. It's amazing. And I remember that each year I take part in this planning workshops, and it really gives me fuel for next year. It gives me this theme that I want to think about, gives me the clarity to drop the offers that are coming, like more and more of them are, but still saying no to some others to say yes to your business, to your goals, to your mission is the hardest part of the business. So I believe that clarity will come. That's why I invite everybody. I even do the pre-workshop preparation, like let's sum up our year, let's learn our lessons, like not to repeat some mistakes, and then go to the workshop with you to plan for the next year ahead with the strong foundation. So I'm really glad that we could invite everybody there. And Sigrun, congratulations on your book. I'm really grateful for, your written dedication. That was really a huge gift for me. And like seeing me as one of those success stories in the book, like I still cannot believe I read it. Like when I have like a low day, I read it and I'm like, it's me. But, reading the stories of other women, that just gives me this idea that there are more and more and more of us. And I'm so glad to have you as a leader in that community, because truly what you say, that, accelerating gender equality through female entrepreneurship, through what we do, that we take our fate in our own hands, it's a really great position to be at. We can do things. We don't look at it, we don't hope for it, we don't even manifest it because it's in fashion now. We just take business.
We do it, we implement, we take action. And that's the people that I like to work with. And I know that's the people now listening and watching. If you want to take action, that's the place where you want to be.
Exactly. Thank you so much for this interview.